let's go through how to graph in both slope-intercept form and standard form. So slope-intercept form is in y equals mx plus b, and standard or any other form is going to be this other method. So let's start with this first one, which is not in slope-intercept form. So anything that's not set up like y equals mx plus b, we want to use the zeros method. And so what that means is we're going to plug in 0 for x and to find our y-intercept, and then 0 for y to find our x-intercept. So kind of like, I think I'm going to move this paper down. So I'm going to do this at the bottom, and I'm going to first start by plugging in 0 for x. So 3 times 0 minus 2y equals negative 6. The nice thing about plugging in 0 is that 0 times anything is 0, so that just goes away. And what we're left with is negative 2y equals negative 6. And to get rid of this multiplication, I just want to divide. So I get y equals 3. Since it says y equals 3, it is my y-intercept, and so I'm going to put that on my y-axis. Now I'm going to do the same thing, except instead of plugging in 0 for x, I'm going to plug in 0 for y. So 3x minus 2 times 0 equals negative 6. Again, the 0 part goes away because that, when you multiply, you get 0. And to get rid of the 3, if I'm just left with 3x equals negative 6, I just divide. And so I get x equals negative 2. Since x equals negative 2, it needs to go on the x-axis at negative 2. So now you're going to want to use a straight edge, so anything that you have that has a straight side. I'm going to use a tissue box. And we want to line that up with our 2 points the best that we can. I know it's hard for you to see, but I promise they're lined up. And we're going to go all the way through the graph and have arrows on the end. So this is the zeros method. So we plug in 0 for x, plug in 0 for y, and that works for any equation. It doesn't matter what kind, how it's set up, but it's best for anything that's not set up like y equals mx plus b. The reason why is because if it is set up like y equals mx plus b, we can use the b and the m method, which is much faster than this. So the b and the m method, we just begin with b and we move with m. So in this case, our b is 5. And b stands for the y-intercept. So on the y-axis, my y-intercept is 5. Then I move with m, and my m is negative 3/4. You notice that I took this minus sign that was kind of hovering out front and I put it on the top. That makes our lives a lot easier if you put it on the top. And then the top is going to tell you how much to rise and the bottom how much to run. I also like to draw arrows to remind myself what direction as I do this so I don't mess up. If I'm rising negative 3, that means I am going down. And if I am running positive 4, that means I'm going to the right. So I'm going to go down 3 and to the right 4 from this dot that I already had. So down 1, 2, 3, and to the right 1, 2, 3, 4. If I had more space, I could do it again, but these 2 points will work good enough. And I'm going to use my straight edge again, which is my tissue box, and line those up to go all the way through the graph. And so you can see the b and the m method works pretty fast, but it only works in y equals mx plus b form. Otherwise, you'll have to use the zeros method for graphing.